Hello everyone, I'm back. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. How are you doing? How have you been since the last time we spoke? Today, we are going to talk about a very sensitive subject, but this subject needs someone to say something about it because it may be sensitive, but it is quite brutal when it comes to what happens to the people who experience these types of I'll call them difficulties. So today we are going to talk about gender-based violence, and this being the month of awareness for gender-based violence at the time of the filming of this video, I felt that I needed to tell you a bit about it so that we can all be able to get some information and know more about what we are going through or what you might be going through. Sometimes somebody can go through something that they do not have a name for it, but once you get the information, you figure it out and see that actually it was a form of abuse. So I'm here to furnish you with some information, and then once you look at it, you can see whether you are experiencing a form or other of gender-based violence. And if you are not, you can see if your family or your loved one or your friends or your colleagues at work are experiencing this. And in so doing, I always say information is something that we should all have. And so I'm going to give some information about this topic, and then you can see or decide who it is that you might want to help, just in case they are going through some form of abuse or other and they are not aware that it is abuse. Yes, it happens where somebody has grown up in a place where they think that form of abuse, whether verbal or violence in the family, is something that is normal in other families. And this happens because somebody might not have experienced what a healthy family looks like. And if somebody has never seen, and every person in their family has been undergoing this type of violence, then they might not know that they themselves are experiencing it. So I'll tell you some types of gender-based violence, and then I will expound a little bit about each one, and then you can decide whether you actually may need assistance or somebody closer to you might need assistance from what you learn today. So the first form of gender-based violence, the one that most of us know, is physical violence, whereby somebody hits another person using physical force. That one we might know about. Then there's verbal violence. This is what happens where people think that it is normal for somebody to shout at you, for your spouse to shout at you, or for your parents to always shout at you. There is some form of speaking that is actually violence, whereby people can insult you directly in such a way that they do it for such a long time that even your self-esteem goes down to nothing. So you should watch out for that. Then the third one is psychological violence. Verbal violence and psychological violence is different, but there are also forms of violence where people use tactics, or we can call it psychological warfare, or some even say reverse psychology on you, that if you wanted to do something and the other person, especially your significant other, does not want you to do it, then they employ tactics to dissuade you from doing that thing altogether. And it is not once or twice, it is each time. For as long as you may want to do something and they do not want to let you do it, so they employ the psychological warfare, hence psychological violence, among many others. Then there's also sexual violence. You might think that if you are married or you have a partner and you might not be willing to actually have sex with your partner and they are willing to have sex with you, that you should force yourself to do it. I'm here to tell you that these things are some things that you can sit and talk about and have times that you are comfortable with, that you would want to sleep with your partner. And also they should understand when you are ready to do it, whether you are male or female. That way somebody doesn't get to actually force you into sex unknowingly, or even knowingly. Some do it knowingly. This is a form of sexual violence. You don't have to be not married, or that is single, for you to say somebody raped me. You can be married and somebody can rape you. That is also something you need to know. Then we have socio-economic violence, whereby you might find your significant other may not be letting you be able to go out and do some things. Let's say both of you had work before, and then something happened and one of you was out of work and the other person was supporting you, and sometimes you may want to go out and do something either with friends, and your partner denies you, because sometimes they are the ones that are providing the economic wherewithal for you to go out and do whatever you need to. Sometimes you need to look out for this. Sometimes it could be a form of violence, but most times, yes, it is a form of violence. And you need to also watch out for that, because this one can be a little bit mild. This one can be a little bit mild in nature when people are doing it, and some don't even know they are doing it. So it is good for you to know what it looks like, so that if it happens to you or your loved ones, you can be able to catch it early before it escalates to something else, and then arrest it and have it dealt with, so that even if it is, say, being in a relationship in a way that promotes your mental health wellness, then you can be in it with that knowledge. So the last one, but not the least one, is intimate partner violence. This one happens a lot between, it can be between people who are married or those people that are also not married. And this is where it can be all these other forms of violence that I've said. It can be physical, it could be verbal, it can be sexual. That is harassment of any type by your significant other. That's what I'm talking about. Then when you hear these types, what I can say at this point is, are you able to tell if you are experiencing any one of them? If yes, you may need to seek help, or if you can sit your partner down and speak or talk to them, or the person that is inflicting the type of violence or the type of injustice to you, you can speak to them and have them see what happens, or find someone else who can help you speak to them. So for now, I'd like for you to look back and see how your life has been, step by step, whether you are single or married, if you faced any type of gender-based violence, and if you have, I'd like for you to see the extent at which you have experienced it. And if you can find someone close to you who can help you, please do. If you look back and you are okay, you can also check if any of your loved ones have been experiencing this. Most people who experience gender-based violence sometimes keep it a secret because they find it to be a shameful thing to go through. So I need you to be able to normalize it, to help people tell you about it more. When I say normalize, I don't mean to start saying it is okay for somebody to be beaten. Ask a Therapist on YouTube said that you can beat somebody a little bit. No. I am saying you make it okay for someone who is experiencing that type of violence to come to you, to be able to open up, and so that either you may be able to assist them, support them, or refer them to somebody who can, because nobody should suffer violence. Nobody should suffer violence, and so each and every one of us should be able to get assistance whenever and each time we may need it. For now, I'll stop here for this video. Thank you so much for being with me. I love you guys. Jesus loves you so, so much. Let us talk more next time on the next video when we meet. Thank you so much. Let's talk more next time. If you have something to say, something to comment, feel free to comment it down below. I will respond to you, or somebody else might also get back to you on the people that are going to be viewing this video. Thank you so much. Have a lovely time. Have a lovely day. See you in the next video.